I never believed in haunted places. Not really. I believed in old buildings. In bad wiring that caused strange noises. In human imagination filling silence with fear. That was before I heard the town breathing. Not metaphorically. Not emotionally. I mean, breathing. It started with a voicemail. No number. No timestamp. Just static, and a voice. If you can hear this, don't come at night. I replayed it 3 times. The voice sounded male. Maybe late 40s. American accent, Midwest, if I had to guess. He sounded tired. Not scared. Like someone who had already accepted what was coming. At the end of the message, one word was whispered so quietly I almost missed it. Grinfall. Grinfall, Missouri. Population, officially 0. The town didn't appear on Google Maps, at least not by name. But satellite images showed something strange. Rows of houses. A school. A church. A water tower still standing. An entire town, erased from records. Local forums mentioned it only in fragments. My grandfather worked there. Never talked about it. People say the lights turn on by themselves. Do not stay after sunset. That last comment appeared over and over again. I arrived just before dusk. The road into Grinfall narrowed suddenly, like it didn't want cars anymore. Trees leaned inward, their branches tangled like grasping fingers. The air felt heavier. Not humid. Occupied. As I crossed the old rusted town sign. Welcome to Grinfall. My radio turned on by itself. Static. Then a faint sound beneath it. A heartbeat. Slow. Deep. Wrong. I should have left before dark. But curiosity is louder than fear when fear hasn't proven itself yet. The houses were still furnished. Curtains hung in windows. Children's toys lay in yards, sun-bleached but intact. A bicycle rested against a fence, as if someone had dropped it mid-ride. No signs of struggle. No fire damage. No mass evacuation evidence. Just absence. And then I heard it. A door closing. Behind me. She stood on the porch like she'd been waiting. Late 30s. Pale skin. Barefoot. Her eyes were open, but unfocused, like she was looking through me instead of at me. You shouldn't be here, she said calmly. I asked her where everyone went. She smiled. We stayed. When the sun finally dropped, the town changed. Not visually. Audibly. The wind stopped. Insects went silent. And beneath it all, that breathing returned. From the ground. From the walls. From inside my own chest. Lights flickered on in houses I had just confirmed were empty. Footsteps echoed in streets with no people. And then, a child laughed. Right behind me. The church bell rang once at exactly 9:11 p.m. Every light went out simultaneously. And in the darkness, dozens of voices whispered the same sentence. You were warned. I ran back to my car. The road I came from was gone. Replaced by trees. And carved into the bark of the nearest one, fresh and deep, were words written in a way that looked like fingernails. Now you belong to Grinfall. I sat inside my car, engine running, headlights cutting through the fog. Or at least, I thought the engine was running. The dashboard lights were on. The radio hissed with static. But the RPM needle was dead. That's when I realized something terrifying. The car was breathing too. Not loudly. Soft. Rhythmic. Like lungs filling and emptying somewhere beneath the hood. My phone buzzed. No signal bars. No Wi-Fi. No service. Yet I had a notification. A Notes app file I never created. Title. Rules for Grinfall. My hands shook as I opened it. There were only 5 rules. No explanation. No author. Just this. 1. Never knock on a door after sunset. They will answer, but not for you. 2. If someone calls your name at night, do not respond. It learns your voice. 3. The church bell rings once for the living. Twice for the lost. Never stay for the 3rd. 4. Do not look directly at the people who smile too long. They are wearing memories, not faces. 5. If you find your own house, run. You already stayed too long. The note ended with a sentence that made my blood turn cold. These rules used to be longer. I needed answers. The only place that still felt official was the town library. Its doors were open. That should have scared me more than locked ones. Inside, dust floated unnaturally still in the air. Bookshelves stood untouched, but many books were hollowed out, pages removed, carved, rewritten. One journal sat open on a desk. Dated, October 14, 1996. People think Grinfall disappeared. That's not what happened. We didn't vanish. We were asked to stay. I turned the page. It started with the ground making sounds. At first, like pipes. Then like voices. The town council called it mass hysteria. The church called it a test. Then the first man refused to leave. His name was Eli Grayson. Coal miner. Born in Grinfall. Died there too, officially. But the journal said otherwise. When evacuation orders came, everyone packed. Eli didn't. He said the town had given him everything. And now it was asking for something back. The next page was stained dark. Not ink. They found Eli standing in the center of town. Smiling. Talking to the air. His eyes weren't his anymore. I felt eyes on me. I didn't look up. Rule number 4. My phone vibrated violently. The notes file updated itself. Rule number 3 now read. The church bell rang twice. One of you has been chosen. Outside, the fog thickened into shapes. Human shapes. They weren't walking. They were standing, motionless, facing the library. Waiting. The barefoot woman from house 17 appeared between the shelves. Her face looked clearer now. Too clear. Like a photograph sharpened too much. You read the rules, she said. I asked her why the town was still here. She tilted her head. Because Grinfall is hungry. She explained it calmly. Gently. Grinfall wasn't cursed. It was awake. Built on something old. Something beneath the mines. Something that learned humans were renewable. The town didn't kill everyone. It kept them. Copied them. Let them walk. Talk. Smile. But they weren't alive. And they weren't dead. They were echoes. Then she said something I hadn't told anyone. Not online. Not out loud. You came because your grandfather was born here. My stomach dropped. She smiled wider. Too wide. He left. That debt passed to you. From the distance, the church bell began to vibrate. Not ringing. Preparing. The woman stepped back. You can still leave, she said. But the town will remember you. I asked her what happened if I stayed. She whispered. Then you'll finally belong somewhere. As the bell began to swing, I realized something worse than the town being alive. It knew my name. And it was saying it. From every direction. The bell never rang the third time. It didn't need to. The sound stopped halfway through the swing. As if something decided I wasn't ready yet. The fog parted slowly, revealing the church. Up close, it looked older than the town itself. Stonework mismatched. Symbols carved into the walls that didn't belong to any religion I knew. And beneath the church, I felt it. The source. The basement door was already open. Of course it was. Stone steps led downward, spiraling deeper than any church basement should. The air grew warmer. Moister. And alive. Every step echoed, not behind me, but ahead, as if someone was walking just out of sight. At the bottom, the tunnel widened into a cavern. And that's when I saw it. It wasn't a monster. It wasn't a demon. It didn't have claws or teeth. It was a shape made of absence. Like the darkness had learned how to breathe. Veins of old mining tunnels connected to it, pulsing faintly. As if the entire town were arteries feeding a heart. The woman's voice echoed in my mind. Grinfall isn't haunted. It's inhabited. Carved into the stone walls were names. Hundreds of them. Dates stretched back to the early 1800s. This place existed long before Grinfall. The miners didn't discover coal. They discovered it. And it made them an offer. Safety. Prosperity. A town that would never fail. All it asked for in return was simple. Stay. In the early years, people came and went. The thing was young then. Learning. Observing. But over time, it understood something crucial. People who leave, remember. So it changed the rules. It began copying those who stayed too long. Replacing them quietly. letting the copies interact with the world. The real people became part of the town. Part of the walls. Part of the breathing. The rules weren't punishment. They were mercy. Don't answer your name, it copies voices. Don't look too long, it mirrors faces. Don't stay for the third bell, that's when the copy finishes. And the final rule. Finding your own house. It stood at the edge of town. A house I had never seen before. Yet every detail was perfect. The porch creaked the same way as my childhood home. The mailbox had my last name on it. Inside. Photos of my life. Moments no one else should know. Birthdays. Failures. Private fears. And in the living room. Me. Sitting calmly on the couch. Smiling. It's easier this way, the copy said. Its voice was mine, but steadier. No more running. No more searching. I asked what happened to the originals. The copy gestured around. We become useful. The barefoot woman appeared behind it. She finally looked tired. I was the last to resist, she said. My family stayed. I didn't. She pointed to the thing beneath the town. It doesn't trap everyone. It offers belonging. Some people choose it. I ran. Past the church. Past house 17. Past the town sign. This time, the road was there. The radio was silent. The breathing stopped. I didn't look back. I'm home now. Alive. I think. But sometimes, at night, my phone opens a notes file by itself. New rules. New edits. And last week, I passed a town sign on a highway I've driven 100 times before. It wasn't there yesterday. Welcome to Grinfall. Population. Pending. And somewhere beneath the asphalt, something breathed. People think leaving is the same as escaping. That's the lie Grinfall lets you believe. At first, everything felt normal. I slept. I ate. I laughed at things again. But small things began to feel wrong. Mirrors lingered too long on my reflection. My shadow sometimes moved a second late. I started finishing sentences I didn't remember beginning. And every night at 9:11 p.m., my heart skipped a beat. Like it was waiting for a sound that never came. I began dreaming of Grinfall. Not as it was. As it wanted to be. Whole. Full. Alive. People walked the streets. Lights glowed warmly. Children laughed. Too many children. Every face turned toward me when I appeared. They all knew me. One morning, my phone buzzed. No notification sound. Just vibration. A new entry in notes. Title. Final rule. Content. You never truly leave. You only decide where the town ends. That's when I noticed the gaps. Time missing. Hours I couldn't explain. Receipts for places I never visited. Calls I didn't remember making. People started reacting strangely to me. Pausing mid-conversation. Watching my eyes. One friend asked, half joking. Did you always smile like that? I researched my grandfather. Found an old interview. He had left Grinfall. But he never really escaped either. He moved often. Never stayed long anywhere. The town didn't follow him. He carried it. And now. So did I. Places around me began to change. A closed diner that had always been there. A streetlight flickering exactly like Grinfall's. A church bell testing its echo. Grinfall wasn't fixed to one location. It was mobile. It grew through memory. Through people who survived. Grinfall doesn't kill. It reproduces. Through witnesses. Through escapees. Through storytellers. You think I'm warning you. I'm not. Warnings end things. Stories continue them. Every detail you imagined. Every street, every breath. Helped rebuild it. In your mind. In mine. Between us. If tonight, at exactly 9:11 p.m., you hear something that sounds like breathing. Not in your room. Not outside. But inside the walls. Don't panic. It means the town found a place it likes. Grinfall never leaves. It just waits. For someone else to stay.
Before I end this, I just want to say thank you for listening. These stories take time to remember, and even more courage to share. If this one stayed with you, even after the last word, you can support the channel by liking the video. And if you enjoy slow, honest stories like this, told the way they're experienced, consider subscribing. I read every comment. So feel free to share your thoughts below. I'll see you in the next story.